What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our gas course project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. Today, we're going to hopefully wrap up our card energy UI. We're not going to try to take it too far just because it's for prototype purposes. We want it to look good, feel good, all that good stuff. So we're going to try to wrap up with what we're doing today. So the card UI is what you see on the bottom left, where these circles are slowly filling up. And we would then use it to spend on resources. Second here. So yeah, we're going to just wrap it up. Try to add some flair to it. Maybe we can add, like, obviously there would need to be audio cues at some point. I'm too lazy to do audio, so but maybe we can add like a force feedback, maybe some special effect when it gets filled. And just try to wrap it up from there. And then we can move on, and we're going to start designing, iterating over our next loop, which is waves. So waves, rounds, and our opponents, and how that's going to work, and kind of design around that, how the loop can really work that way. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll start doing some of that good stuff. Let's just first ban some more people from Kick, because it's just bots at this point. So yeah, let's jump in. So I think first and foremost, what we might want to do is maybe while the progress bar is being updated, we can maybe lurk between colors. Because we should be able to set the fill color. And be able to, what is this, linear color? Lurk per linear color. And we might want to do, so basically our end color is going to be something goldish yellow like this. So we can save that hex, but maybe it could start lower in the spectrum and then end it at the max, just to make these things stand out. So let's increase the passive here by 10. That seems like that could work. But yeah, for some reason, it lerps back down to the original value, which we don't really want. I'm going to print this XP real quick. It's going to print multiple, I suppose, but yeah, 0.2, 0.4, that makes sense for what that one is. So it goes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. So for whatever reason, I guess we're finding more bugs with our logic. So with the card container, I'm assuming it's going to be, so here's our current card energy progress, and we're filling it in here, and we're safe dividing. So I'm assuming this turns to 0.2 again. Let me set the progress. Curious how we might want to safeguard these things. Yeah, this seems to be the problem. So we're just constantly filling card XP. Maybe I could put like a boolean, because like I'm assuming what happens potentially is that at the moment we get the new card energy, maybe things aren't set in the right order. Because what do we do, right? We do all this, we set the current card energy, we set all this, then we set the... So if the current card XP gain is less than or equal to the maximum energy, maybe what just needed to be less than? Here's the +1. So I feel like we have to do this one first, actually. And then set the XP gain. Let's see if that makes a difference at all. Because what I'm thinking is happening is, you know, we get the new XP gain in, and so we know we want to do the, we know we need to increase the card energy, right? So first it sets the new XP, which gets hit by that, and then the new card energy is added, and then the callback for that is then called. So I think for just like a moment, it's incorrect, and then because we add then the new card energy, it corrects itself at that point. At least that's what I'm thinking. We'll just have to see if I'm correct. So fingers crossed, because what I want to do is add, like, once we can prove this correctly, once an XP reaches full and we get a new card energy, I want there to be some noticeable things that happen, like maybe some nice flare effect, not flare, but some effect, some animation, something that draws your eye to that. Maybe force feedback effect. Obviously, there would be a sound cue. So we'll just have to see if that small change made any sort of difference or if it ended up breaking anything. So let's make this 10. So what my expectation is to stay in that bright color and move on to the next one. No, I was wrong. Okay, so what I want to try to do, I don't know how I can break this correctly. Maybe I could just say, maybe I could say, is this equal to 1? Let's do a print string. And so I want to see what gets hit first. This or add new card energy. My hopes is the new card energy gets hit first. Okay, it does. And this gets set to 1. Okay, so when I put the breakpoint, that seems to have worked. But when there is no breakpoint, it doesn't work. Okay, so maybe the issue is when we get the exact value. So I'm going to wait till it gets to 20. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, so I'm going to wait till it gets to 90. Okay, so here, when that happens... Ah! Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, so... Well, I was missing the other breakpoint, I guess. Okay. What tool are you using in Blueprints to have that arrow indicating which module you have selected? I'm not sure uh, which thing you're referring to. Are you referring to the breakpoint? Sorry, I kind of missed um, what was happening there. Let's do this again. So with this, I just want to see where we land. Okay, so when it's exactly on the money, that's when this breakpoint gets hit first, and then it gets there. Okay, so there might be somewhere else. I'm only just learning Blueprints, and I'm a little unfamiliar, but it looked like you had a giant red arrow over one of your modules, and then you clicked another module when it clicked into a giant white arrow. Is that a tool they use to visually indicate it, or is that something that I'm just unfamiliar with? It's a natural part of Unreal. I believe you might be referring to a breakpoint. So for example, you can click on a node, right click on a node and just add a breakpoint. I think there's also a shortcut, I think F9 to toggle it. So that when the breakpoint gets hit, you get this giant arrow. It lets you know where you are in your logic, and then you have buttons here at the top that let you kind of step through the logic that way. So I think that's what you're referring to. It's breakpoints, and it's a default thing with Unreal and Blueprints. Okay, so what is our use case here? So we're saying if the new card energy is greater than, so new card XP is greater than, and if the current one is less than or equal to that, we do this leftover thing. So whenever it's like the same, I'm trying to see where that logic would be. Okay, so I think this has to be greater than or equal. Maybe that's the use case. Very cool. Gotta get back to work. I'll pop in later. Good stuff, man. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I hope you learn a lot. Yeah, Blueprints is pretty good, pretty crazy. So I hope you learn stuff. If you need any help, of course, reach out. Otherwise, have fun. Get fun at work. Let's see if this did what I was hoping it'd do. Okay. And let's also see if that change like completely borked my logic here. Now it's going up by tens, and it should hopefully result. Yes, that fixed it. Okay, great. But I don't know if it's going to break anything else with the whole set of logic. But looks good. We'll question it later. So we got the linear interpolation. Obviously, we could make this data driven. We could have like a data asset or a record somewhere that gives us the colors, or some project settings that set up the colors for us, so we can change those things on the fly. Might be worth doing. For now, it's whatever. You can always add it to do. Make the color accessible. Hey, thanks for the raid. I don't know if it's gonna be Mydrong or Madrong, but it's much appreciated. How you doing? And thanks for the follow as well. How you guys doing? How's everyone? Hope your stream was good. Hope all is well. Hey, thanks for the follow as well. Jared does his best. I hope you do the best you can. We all do our best. Stream was good, just some boring refactors. How's your stream going? It's going pretty good. We just started. We're working on finalizing some UI stuff. So we're working with what we're calling card energy, which is basically this UI stuff you see in the bottom left corner. These circles filling up, some of which are like Resolve from Ghost of Tsushima, if you're familiar. Basically, what this energy does, it gives you points that you can then spend on cards that you activate, like this. You bring up this UI, you select your card, gives you either an ability, a buff, a debuff to your enemies, or anything like that, and then you re-execute them and you spend your points that way, and then you kind of bonk your enemies, use special abilities and things like that. So we're just testing some stuff out. We're adding a little bit of color. I'm probably gonna add just some sort of animation or some sort of unique instance of when the bar becomes full and you gain a card resolve, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Thanks for the follow as well, Sunzi, or Kumzi. I don't know which one is the best way to pronounce it, but thanks for stopping in too. So yeah, we're just doing the UI stuff, and then we can start looking at more about what these cards do and the kind of the designs around the cards and how they synergize with your character and how you kind of build up to spend more cards and how you can kind of build a character through your rounds and you get some ultimate payoff and things like that. So I'm just trying to blend similar mechanics to things like Slay the Spire with typical third-person action combat. I don't want to go super difficult like Souls-like. I want to go more in the route of like Devil May Cry and things like that, and faster-paced combat. And so you can kind of blend well with your cards and kind of have separate layers of gameplay where you're fighting off enemies and there's a opposing enemy AI also playing cards, and you have like this dual aspect of it. So that's the plan. We'll see how it executes. So now that we have our color here, obviously we could make the color parameters accessible elsewhere, like project settings or some data assets somewhere, but for now it's whatever. So now when we do reach full, we probably would want to make a separate call here. So we could probably make a custom event or something. Bar full. Probably a better way to name that, but so one concern I have though with what I'm about to do is just that because you start with some card energy already, so I don't know if we want to have an initial wait because we're gonna get 2 hellos. I don't know if we want to play some flair of stuff that's already kind of initialized. We'll see. We'll see if we can get it to even look like the way I want it to look. But let's give ourselves a full bar so we can at least visualize everything. Because how I'd imagine it is, and I don't know if this is a good idea, we're gonna see. And right now we're just working with some basic shapes, so it's not gonna look that great, but we'll see what happens. So we're gonna use this image. I guess we can scale. So I wonder if I can get away with like centering it like that, and I wonder if it impacts how the container works. Okay, it for sure does. I wonder how I can have it not affect the way the container is, because I don't want this size to really get impacted. And the reason why it's getting impacted is because we have this container, this overlay, I should say, size to content. So now, it doesn't overscale, but it underscales because, it's not matching how many things are in that row. So size to content is what we want, but we don't really want it to size to the larger image here, That's how like, also if we try to animate it, it could be, problematic too. Because if like we make this thing go like up, for example, if I were to just simply take this transform, make it go -10, for example. Yeah, this other circle is also causing problems. Hold on. I think we can make it collapsed. It shouldn't affect it. Yeah. You can see still causes issues when we kind of scale this or transform it in a certain way. So I don't know if I should like I don't know where the effect could exist without affecting the container. We could also make an assumption to say like, okay, we know you will only ever have 10 of these at most. And so we kind of set the size X there. But then, we would have to make sure hey, we got ourselves a kitty in here. How'd boo boo? Say hi to everybody. Hey, Domorowski, how you doing? Everyone say hi to Lola, aka Boo Boo, aka the best kitty in the world. Let's let her explore. Hopefully she won't drink my water. So, potentially what I could do is, I guess I could offset where the container is to be left so that things are kind of that way, and that looks okay. And maybe we can scale the X based on the number. Lola, how you doing? People are asking. I think she's doing good. She tells me to shush sometimes and puts her paw on my face, but too bad, boo. We love you. We got her kitty tower she can hang out on, though. Boo. You can get in the camera view and be cute there. Or get on my desk. That's fine. So I think, honestly, I think the call is to scale the container. So the issue that I'm trying to fix is on the bottom left corner where the nameplate is and the health bar is. There's a section for these card energy, and they're represented by circle progress bars. And by default, I set it so that the background, the opaque black rounded box shape, that container that would size to fit. And so the issue with size to fit is if I decided to, animate the circles to say like, oh, you got a new card energy. Let me make it move up really quick, or let me make it grow and shrink again. That would mean, everything would scale up in those moments. And I don't necessarily want to do that. And so what I want to be doing is, I think, have dynamically adjusting the width of the background to match, the number of card energies that I have instead. So what I could do, because it will have to be based off the max energy that I have. So I would have to do that. Okay, my cat needs to leave, I think. Yo, Billy, do not say my cat looks huge. You look huge, man. Yeah, so what I'm thinking I should end up doing is scaling um the container so that matches the number of max energies that I have. Um, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I'm going to try to do now, since that's what I think makes most sense. So what we can do, we will have to do a event, resize container. And I don't know if container's the right word or if it's literally just the background or the overlay, I should say. So, let's see, card energy overlay. Let's call it that. Hey, thanks also for that follow, Dilmarowski. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's look. So instead of resize container, should be resize container overlay, maybe? And so we can get our overlay. We can get our container. I would need to get information about the size of the energies as well. So in theory, I would need to store it somewhere. We'll just work with a hard-coded value for right now. So we'll get the card energy container. We'll get children. We'll get children count. And we could say if the children count is less than or equal to 0, it should never be below 0, but that's just to safeguard it. So if it's less than or equal to 0, we'll probably want to just hide this. So set visibility to hidden, I think is best. And if it's not, it could be a redundant call for setting visibility if it's already visible, but we'll just do that. And then we can set size or size. Okay, so I had to do slot as overlay slot. And I should be able to set. So what can I set here? I always forget the function calls for this. I was 2 days on the struggle to solve a problem in my game. I'm building a hex-based RTs and resources on the map was overlapping. It was a headache to fix because of spawning one resource on a random hex of the grid and doing a spear from that resource to detect instances of my hex around it. Spawn more of that resource. Fixed it 1 hour ago. Nice. So what was the root cause, I suppose? Was it just math? So what I'll need to do here is just, I think it's just the X we want to modify. So Y's will pass in. It probably can be 24. Again, this would probably be one of those cases where you'd want to get a reference to the actual card energy to kind of map the sizes properly, but it's whatever for now. And then what we can do is, so the children count, so we should be able to just multiply this, put this to a float, maybe by 24, and set that. And so now in theory, we would need to call this, so update maximum card energy slot. So I should be able to, make the call here. So resize. And then in my wait for maximum change here, I should be able to also invoke it here. So let's see if that does anything. So, sort of. It is resizing. Let's see. So I also want to have padding in between. And I think that padding is 5, so maybe I could just round this up to 30. Again, having these magic numbers isn't great, but yeah, it seems better. But yeah, they're too low for some reason now. I think this needs to be 32 again. That kind of works. It was a problem in my available hexes array, vector array. I was adding duplicate vectors in it, but deleting one of them. Then instead of adding the second pair, I removed those from the array and checked if it was removed, responding to the second set of resources. Okay. Okay, so okay, so that's okay. I'm having a hard time to visualize what was going on, but I'm glad you got it fixed. So just to confirm now, I should be able to translate this -10 upwards, and we shouldn't see anything get modified, which we don't, which is great. So let's make that 0. Maybe this container can be like 28 or something, just to fit it better. Are you using Unreal for your project, or are you using Unity, Godot, GameMaker, your own thing? Okay, cool. Okay, so now let's put this to the test. Let's see if this thing scales based off my max number. So I'm gonna make my max 10. Okay. It does not. 5.6, nice. I'm also using 5.6. Okay, so definitely some weird stuff going on when I'm scaling. I think I know. I think I know. Because I'm adding the child stuff here first, so I need to do it after the for loop here. Will hopefully be okay. Let's try that again. Let's make it 10. Good. Like obviously we'll have to clamp it eventually, but 3, 2, 1, 0. It's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, good. I gotta make this I gotta make sure I set this progress bar back to 0 again, because I'm getting confused. I'm just like, why do I have full card energy? But that. So that kind of works. I know in the container here I have. So I think the offset needs to be 4, because I wanted to buffer pad it by 2, I guess, units to the left and to the right. So I think 28 would be snug. Because there are 24 units. Okay, too snug. Okay. 30, probably the sweet spot. Looks fine. Like the last one seems a little close. I don't know if it's like 29 is better. I doubt it, but I mean, yeah, 29 seems to be the magic number. Is that a plugin that make the lines in the blueprint straight? Yes, I use what are the names? I use crap. What's it called? I know I use darker nodes and I use electronic nodes. I use those plugins. That's what I get, the darker themes and I get the arrows and stuff. That's pretty cool. You have to pay for them, but perhaps it's worth it. So now we know how to scale our UI appropriately. Again, I'm not happy. Maybe it's okay the fact that that's happening, but we'll see. So what I'm thinking is either it's going to be an animation that kind of makes it bounce or scale and shake or something. We can see how that works. We got to be careful with any kind of horizontal movement just so there's no overlaps in between. So we could try a quick animation. So let's grab this. So we're going to add card selection bar, canvas panel slot. We'll add, I guess we could just add here. We'll do transform first. And yeah, when it comes to UI stuff, we got to make sure that it is snappy as hell. So let's keyframe our translation. Oh, my headphones battery is low. Let me plug it in. I got the whispers from the headset. The battery was low. So yeah, let's keyframe translation, and then we'll do 0.1 translation again. And so what the translation will do, if we want it to move up, we do -10, keyframe it. Oops, I keyframed the wrong time. Whoopsie doopsie. Keyframe that, and then here, why did this still go up? 0. Keyframe. And then this one, -10, like that. I'll see. Yeah, we'll have to extend the time, and then so we go like this, and bring it back down to 0 again. So it's gonna go like that. Maybe that's too short. I put try 0.25. Maybe it could just be like, boop. Let's see what that looks like in practice. So, play animation. Where is this one? One time, start time, playback speed, restore state's fine. Let's see. So we're kind of seeing it do what it's doing. That looks okay. But yeah, the problem is we're constantly calling it. We should be calling it when it's 1. But for now, let's leave it because just so we can keep previewing it. This maybe. 'Cause 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 maybe. ' Maybe it can be a half a second. Maybe it can also be minus what? Maybe minus 40. So it goes high up. Let's also make this minus 40. And then this will drop down to 0 again. And I'm thinking, while it's here and here, maybe we can have it shake. So maybe we could give it some like random rotation. Oh, can I change the... kind of snap it. So maybe I can make this like minus 5. 5. And 0 again. So boop. Let's see what that looks like. Can't really see the shake too much because it's a circle. I just realized. I mean, you can kind of tell it when the circle's not filled or empty. You can't really tell. So maybe shaking it is not a good idea. So it stays here and then drops, right? Because I think maybe what I can try is, let me not do anything animation driven yet. So let me go back to image. Let's make it the same circle. Because what I'm thinking we can do, make this, 48 by 48 or something. And like, I would basically want to, maybe I need to make this an overlay. No, it's not going to work. Thinking, so. Maybe it can expand, it can grow and fade at the same time. Or it can come in and fade out. So we could, by default, set this to hidden. Then in here, do this, and then canvas panel, or just in the normal thing, we can set visibility. I need to change this back to 20. So once it gets here, we can set the visibility visible. We'd have to also set the transform. I think we could always have the transform in the right location. We could say the translation is -40. And -40. And I think at this point, this is where we can maybe scale it. Basically from 1 1. So bam. And then we scale it to 0. Can I not make it 0? Yeah, okay. Then also maybe do the opacity. I think that's an option, right? Regular opacity, right? So yeah, set it to 1. 1. Maybe by this point it can be like 0. So you get it? It's like, I don't know if that's too much. Hard to tell. But also because I added this circle. I think there's still the issue maybe of this container. That's a shame. Basically because of how the containers work, they get spaced out weird. So I don't think I can have this in there. Let's ask the internet, I guess, here. Really finding much information. That's a shame because it looks okay. Oh, let's see. Also, it's saying potentially it can be the overlay. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Let's see. Let's see. Some layout tips and tricks.
What's up, guys? Welcome to new.
I'm not listening to a YouTube video. Hello, what are you trying to create? I'm working on UI. And I want to have, when you successfully get card energy, I want to play an animation and, show an image. But because it's in a container, it scales. Like, I don't think, I don't know if there is a real way for me to stop it because it's a horizontal container. Maybe I can do it like this. No. I just expand it all. No. Yeah. No image. I thought there might be something in advanced or rendering or something. Maybe it's like clip to bounds or something. No. Snap the pixel. If God knows what that means. It doesn't affect it. Because what I don't want to do is create an independent widget that just gets thrown in when this happens. Um, now the container could, in theory, exist outside of this, maybe? No. Still the same problem. Womp womp. How could this be fixed, I wonder? I'm trying to figure out how even to describe the problem. Week 5, widgets. All right. How to sure horizontal container isn't take into account size of largest image in child. So to prevent a horizontal box from being resized by its large image, wrap the image size with a so wrap the image size box. Doesn't seem like it makes a difference. Maybe this. Doubt it. Let's see. Now, dang it. And so I don't think this makes any sort of difference. They also say replace the horizontal box entirely with an overlay widget, which I don't want to do. Well, it's kind of disappointing. You know, I technically could not make it a horizontal box, but I don't know if it's worth it. I could, let's just for now move all this stuff. Let's change the time back down to 0.3. Oop. So this would only have to happen. This is equal 1. Not super happy that I'm limited to this, but so in theory, when I reach full, okay, so it never plays. Okay, why? Let me do this instead. In the container here, so this is update maximum energy slots. So I have to do it on add card energy. I should be able to say bar fill. Set bar fill. What's the name of the event? Bar full. Let's see if that works. Okay. We're finding new bugs. with the UI. Not a big deal, I don't think. So, out. In theory, I should only have to add one, but it's 2 and 3. So I could just do the whole, is it less than, equal to, so I could truncate. Good. Let me also make card energy 0. See, yeah, it still bounces. Ooh, it's less than. We're gonna have to do like a broad check of everything. Yeah, it seems, at least it's animating, but not, I think it might be too quick. Maybe, so we can get it again. So it goes like this. And then, because honestly, if I scale this, I think it's gonna be a problem like before. But let's, for funsies, scale it as well by 2. I just want to see if this will break the container. I'm guessing it will, but let's see. Okay, hold on. That didn't break it. Oh, deleted everything. I was like, whoop. Scale. Yeah. I think 1.5 is reasonable. Maybe that could work. And doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want to spend all day on this. That's not bad. Oop. I feel like I'm going crazy though. Like I feel like the XP number is still not very good. Like the color, I should say. That's what it's doing. 2.04. 9. I think it's carrying over incorrectly. I feel like there's just this time in which we get the new card energy. And we're not updating the new. Okay, we are doing this check for equals 1. It's basically in here that seems like something iffy is coming up. This be -1. At least we get the animation, right? It's like we set the percentage. Oh. I think I just gotta do this. Update. What's the set XP? Okay, set XP. Calling the wrong function here. So I gotta find all the cases where I did that. Hold on. Is that the only place? No, here we go. This was 0. Go. Any more set percent anywhere? Percent. That I think should fix our problem. No, it's not the best, but at least it works. You kind of lose it to the normal background. Just trying to think if it needs anything more right now. Like, no, I think these things can have drop shadow, or is that only text? Might just be text. I don't know. What do you guys think? Was it worth the effort? So I need to stop printing. Seems to scale okay. Like, I don't know how big this like UI should ever be. Like, it feels kind of weird that it can overextend over the health bar. Like, maybe the size has to be a little small again to fit up to 10. So we can work with the assumption of 20. We'll have to adjust this now. Also, this needs to be 2 or something. Maybe 24. I don't know if that's too small, you know? Or if I just should scale up the health bar to compensate. Maybe that's enough. What do you guys think? Do you think that's big enough? Is it noticeable enough? Like, I'm also trying to consider whether or not it should be like in the center of the screen, or if it's okay to be on the left side. What's that pop-up window called when you're editing values? So this is IMGUI. This is like a debugging tool that you can create. It's a plugin you have to install manually, I think. But it basically gives you the ability to draw these kind of windows. And basically what it does is it lets me select a character, which is my player character, and this is all the gameplay attributes that I have on them and all the current values. And then it lets me manually override these values so I can update them at runtime. And then I can also view the history of it. So you can see as it's updating, you know, obviously there's no instigator, there's no effect or anything, but it lets you kind of see the history of it. I realized I needed it because I was constantly typing in the manual version of it, which is like a debug attribute, which is like a thing here. And then you would have to type in, for example, current card energy. And you would see it on the character there. Or, because I don't have really a numpad on my keyboard, which is probably a big mistake, there is also like the gameplay debugger, which shows you the attributes, but the UI isn't the greatest and it doesn't let you modify them at runtime. So this kind of gave me the best of everything that I wanted. And when I spawn my dummy enemy, he can also be selected. And you can look at his stuff. So if you look at his health bar, for example, if I were to set this to 80, you could see the value changing at runtime. You can also see if I make it like 200, you know, it all kind of works there for us. And I guess I can also deal damage to him. I guess if I make this 10. Oh, no. I think that's not gonna work because it's a I forget what kind of attribute that's called. Uh, Forgive me, I don't remember what type of attribute it is. But yeah, that's what that debug does. So now we have our card energy. I'm gonna say for now that that's fine. So yeah, now we're fighting our guy. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'm like, oh, I should activate a card. Let me. For those new to the stream, this is basically the kind of game loop that I'm looking for, where you can at any moment pause the game, activate cards using these points, these card energies. So I think card 2 is apply, like every hit's a critical, and then apply burn says it applies burn on critical hits. So now every time I hit him, it's a critical hit, and it applies burn. Yeah, I think this thing needs to be a little higher up. So now what I need to do, I think, is to let you earn card energy from kills or maybe critical hits or something. Because right now it's all just passive gain that's pretty slow. And so I want you to earn more points through good gameplay, like avoiding damage or I'm like each because we're gonna have different classes too. So this is like the warrior class, and right now things are pretty prototypey, but we have block and parry or something. And so if you successfully parry, you can get a lot of card energy. You can maybe spec the character tree to give you more card energy from parrying, or on kills, give you card energy. Maybe if we have perfect dodges or something, perfect rolls, whatever the case might be. All that to help you earn more card energy. So yeah, I also think I have a passive effect that says that your dodge applies burn, so you can kind of go through them and just apply burn, for example. And yeah, you have like your heavy attack. Yeah, that's more or less the idea. And yeah, there would be different enemy archetypes. I don't know if I would want to make my character faster or slower just yet. But we have the card points working more or less. Super jump, air attack. We're going to have to update the move set as well. I think there's better animations we can use. Yeah, we'll have to keep trying stuff out. I see critical hit. My hits only do 2 damage or something, so you see, it does do it. And now I'm burning. Wonder, am I healing from a burn applied to me? That's a bug. Not sure. But yeah, that's like another debug I'll have to do where I can just apply a status effect on myself and see how it works. But yeah, we want to support a bunch of different status effects. Um, different cards, have some sort of card synergy, have different enemy archetypes, have different opponent card archetypes and themes, and uh, gameplay gimmicks and stuff like that. So that's the end game. Oh, we got a crash. Nice. So the instigator is null at this point. Everything from that lifesteal kind of just broke stuff. So see if we can track this down. Instigator. The source ability system component is also wrong. So that my target ASC is good. So instigator ASC is still good. Just notice the music stopped as well. Awkward. Not sure why or how this avatar actor. I guess it got garbage collected. Yeah, target ability system component. I have all this stuff stored here. I also have source actor here. So it seems like this is redundant stuff anyway. So maybe I can literally just say source actor, target actor. Not sure if I'll ever reproduce that crash again, but we'll see. Sorry, I'm just looking stuff at work. My bad. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking at Slack now. My bad. When we compiled, that's good. So I'm trying to think, maybe we should call it a day on the stream. I'm not sure what else we can do at the moment. I mean, maybe for the next 20 some odd minutes, we can put an example of like on death. On death, no, like on kill, um, card energy XP, maybe. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that off in time. Maybe that'd be good to start from scratch next time, just so we don't go overboard or anything today. Might as well end on like a high note. Because I don't think I want to do it based on hit or anything. Let me do blame BP real quick. I need one. This is in the hit reaction tutorial. Oh, right. I still have that ability granted. Right. Let me also just make sure I don't have that granted anymore, because I have to eventually do hit reactions. But it's not this day. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end it. We'll save the active stuff for next time. Since we have a good amount of folks with us today, let us raid somebody. It'd be good to raid. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, let's do Kindred Games again. So thanks everybody so much for watching. Thanks to all those who are now following here on Twitch and YouTube. And again, thanks again for the raid at the beginning of the stream. It's much appreciated. So have a good night, everybody. We'll probably be back next week just because I have plans for this Thursday. So enjoy your night, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, anyway, Rogue, I think that's it though. Everything else is kind of working. Also, my plan was there was a couple other things I really wanted to do with this passive, like, or with this skill tree update. Like let's put the almost definitely not happening list. This would be things like tiers on spell books. And then rebalance spell books for weapon or for class level. Maybe, yeah. And then redesign companions to be more structured with 3 types and upgrades / skill tree. And then also, I was also planning, hoping that we could also get profession skill trees in. But that's obviously gonna have to wait, or just not do that at all. Who knows? Okay, so to actually get skill trees in, this is what I need to do. Like, this is the checklist. I have 10 days to get all this done. Can we do all that? I mean, we don't have to do all of this. Some of these things could be. Can you guys even read this? I can barely read it.